Hey, what's going on, guys? Bonsai Joe here. I am starting a speedrun guide for Breakout. This is basically just going to be a little tutorial thing. I'm going to be following the same guide that is on our speedrun.com page. Recently, we've gotten a Discord started up, and we are looking to grow the community a little bit. So right now, I want to make this guide as a tutorial to help any new players coming in, playing the game for their first time, and whatnot. I'm also using this as a refresher for myself. I haven't run the game in a while, so I'm using this as a little bit of a way to get back into it and also help any new players out with some of the new strats that we've come up in the past week or so. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Have my music on in the background. So, turn that up a little bit. Anyways, so the game will begin as soon as you hit the start new game button is when the timer begins. So we will go and do that. You can skip all of the cutscenes, so go ahead and mash your way through those. And the first thing you're gonna do is the tutorial level, where the beginning is easy. Just stop as many as you can. So the tutorial level is important. It sets up a precedent for the next few levels where you have to use this to set your difficulty. Now, some people will say that playing on beginner is easier and faster. Otherwise, some people will also say that playing on the hardest difficulty is the fastest, where it's a matter of preference, I think, but personally, with the ball speed going faster, I would say playing on the hardest difficulty that you can get is probably best for your time. So what you're going to want to do during this tutorial is just use the angle buttons, which are going to be R1 and L1 and R2 and L2. You can use a combination of those to edit your angle, and you can use those to send the ball whatever direction you want. Or you can also use the curve paddle in order to do that. Now for this one, you hit square to change into a slice paddle, and you can use slices by moving bouncer in the direction opposite of whichever way you want the ball to go. This is a little bit more difficult to get the correct angle you want, so a lot of people will say to use the curve paddle to get the correct direction you want without having to press the actual angle buttons. But for the most part, you're going to want to go ahead and use the angle buttons to shoot it whichever direction you want. The angle buttons are going to come in really handy in the future. We'll be using those for pretty much the entire game. But there are a lot of times where sometimes the angle buttons don't get you the correct angle that you want, so you're going to go ahead and have to switch to the curve paddle to do that. So right now, you're just going to want to use the different angle buttons. Press L1 and then L2 will give you a more angle, and then pressing both of them will get you the max angle. So if you did everything perfectly, it's going to put you on one of the hardest difficulties. Right now, I'm just going to go down to beginner just to keep showing you the ropes. So this is the first level. You're going to want to go ahead and switch your camera angle to camera mode 2. This keeps the camera in place and allows you to get the best vantage view point of the level. So the geometry on these blocks kind of sucks. Right now, when you hit those crates, it's going to come back at a weird angle sometimes and just ruin your day. But if you get behind it and make your way through, you should be perfectly fine. And then if you get fed up with the angle or whatever, the geometry, then you can go ahead and hit the back there and then do a ball reset by letting it go and then just shooting it on through. So the next one, crate escape. What you're going to want to do is line up around here, let it go. The geometry is going to be bad again, but just go ahead and shoot it back if you can. Make sure to get your angles off. Use the angle buttons to direct it back over into that slot where there was only 3 crates. If you get stuck in a loop where you can't seem to get it back there, then you can go ahead and do a ball reset, just like that. Send it back there again, and break that last one. You can do one more ball reset, because off of the back fence, it's not going to take those weird angles like it does off the boxes. It is going to shift a little bit to the right because the stage is tilted very slightly to the right, but you should be perfectly fine. I hit the angle button, my bad. So you're just going to want to go ahead and shoot for that opening, and then you'll be good. So this is the wolf level coming up next. You're going to want to go ahead and hold the X button in while you run. And you're going to go ahead and tap the X button to shoot off the balls that behind you to attack the wolf. He'll catch up to you, and there is an ability to juke, so you can go ahead and when it gets too close to you, you can go like that. But that's real tough to do, so your best bet is just keep using the balls provided to you on the level. Oh, yeah, that's what happens when you try to juke too much. You can go ahead and use the balls provided to you on the level to keep him back. Memorization of where the balls are is a must. But the signs will provide you some useful information on where they're at. Oh, and yeah, as you saw there, the wolf will follow you, so if you shoot it one like that and then move over a little bit, you will end up missing him. So make sure after you shoot the ball, you stand still until the ball hits him. And then it's like that. So you're ahead and done of done with the prison. So do not mash your buttons. Do not mash your buttons coming into pyramids, because there is a soft lock where if the map is unloaded and you are mashing the X button, you can actually soft lock your game. So, moving on to the pyramid, your best bet is to just get inside the pyramid as quick as possible. The glowing yellow blocks there are going to be multi-balls, and you're going to want to go ahead and try to get as many of those multi-balls and power-ups as possible. They're going to make your game a lot easier. There is an alternate strategy where you can try to get to use the blocks on the left and the right most to get behind the pyramid, which does work sometimes, but the safer or the better strat, I believe, is to get inside the pyramid as soon as possible. Yeah, that's the behind the pyramid strat right there, is going off that right side. I don't believe it gets you as many multi-balls or anything, but speaking of which, there's one there. If you do it right, it should be able to make your way down the pyramid pretty easily. The name of the game here is ball control, though. That's mainly what you're going to want to be doing. Stay in front of it and make sure you're not losing too many of it. If you can keep as many on screen as possible when you're in multi-ball like this, that's the best that you can be. I'm going to angle these to go ahead and get that. So next one is Tomb Terror. What's going to happen is when you finish one of these stacks here, it is going to replace the stack with a red stack. The red stacks will hurt you. It will pull the stack closer to you, and will then make it harder to hit. They can only replace 4 stacks. So as soon as you clear out 4 straight stacks, then you will be perfectly fine. So right there is good, and we're gonna go ahead and get rid of one of these blocks here, and then we can go ahead and do a ball reset. Actually, we'll just go ahead and do a ball reset anyways, because the geometry on these blocks are good and will bounce right back at you. So you can just bounce it through and on in. Alright, so here's where the angles come into a lot of handy. So you're going to go ahead and start off on this right side, like that, for this one. And hit L1, and it will do that. And then hit R1 for that hit, and then it'll go straight back. And then L1 again, it'll go through, and then don't hit R1 this time, and it'll go ahead and pull on through. Go ahead and hit L1, and then R1, and then nothing, and then L1, and then R1, and nothing, hold nothing, L1, nothing, and nothing. And that's the optimal strategy for the button there. This is the mummy. He's just chilling. You just gotta hit him a bunch of times. There is a glitch that we found on this level where there is a back hitbox to the mummy, just to the right of him, where the ball can get stuck. However, it doesn't hit him multiple times as you would hope it does. So just watch out for the explosions. The explosions can turn the ball in different directions, and you do not want to get hit by them, because this level is very wide and the ball can get out of control if you do let it go while getting hit by an explosion, which is tough. But you can probably do some ball resets later on in the level once you're closer to the end, like when he's in that critical health region right here. But the name of the game there is to just keep it light. You can go ahead and mash into every other level. The only level with the soft lock is that pyramid level when you start a new game. So this here is Flock Frenzy. The sheep are scared of the ball, but are not scared of this dog that comes, or cat, that comes out of this house here. So I did that wrong, so I'm going to go ahead and restart that. But over here, you can, if you get the angle right, to the left of the, oh, my game froze a little bit, but to the left of the concrete pathway that's there, if you go ahead and shoot the ball with an R1 or L1 and L2 angle, then you can shoot it right into that doghouse, just like that. And they're not afraid of the dog slash cat slash whatever this is, so they will not run away from it. So it's basically just like hitting blocks at this point, and then just keep the ball in play and you'll be fine. Try not to hit the supposed cat house again, because then that would turn it back into a ball, and that is not good for you. Just like that. And I hit him anyways, so that works out for me. So this is Hey Hassle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the camera angle to camera mode 3 here and try to shoot it back there in between those two haystacks. It's not super easy, but it is a good strategy. So you're going to want to go ahead and hit out these ones on the right side as quickly as you can. Most people are going to prefer Most people are going to prefer camera mode 2 here, because that is going to be the easiest to see what you're doing. I know I used camera mode 1 a lot in Pyramid there, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference in the Egypt levels, because especially on like Tomb Terror, the camera's locked anyways. So you're going to want to go ahead and avoid that red power-up, by the way. So now that that right side is open, we can actually go ahead and get behind the stack, which, if at all possible, is going to be optimal for us and will be the fastest way to finish out this level. So we almost got that one behind the stack, but we did. All right, so we got that one egg behind the stack. The geometry on these balls are a little stupid, because the ones that come out of the chickens are actually egg-shaped, which roll really weird and suck. But oh, I got caught on the corner there. I'm not really sure what happened there. I got caught on the corner of a haystack and completely demolished it, which is great. But there we go. So you're just gonna want to keep your multi-balls and keep the ball control on that one. Okay. So for chicken invaders, you're gonna want to fire that ball as soon as possible. But as for last level, you're gonna want to go ahead and keep ball control as much as you can. That's the name of the game for that one. Ball control, keeping the multi-ball, and getting behind the stack are the biggest 3 things for that level. Chicken invaders kind of sucks. Because a lot of the time you lose your multi-ball, but if you control it as much as possible, you'll be able to make your way on through relatively easily. But, you know, you will have your issues probably. This is the one that I most routinely fail on. Such as that. But now I can show you. Balls do pass from behind, so you're going to want to go ahead and shoot that as quick as possible. Then you will get a double stack of balls there. That is actually 2 balls there. Yeah. So as you saw, it split up because the balls had dropped like on each other. So this is the split power up. If you go ahead and use that, it'll actually split the ball into 2. I know I haven't really used many power-ups yet, but for that one, it'll split the ball into 2. For this one, it'll grab whichever next one you hit, and then you can re-throw it out like that by pressing the X button again. The +1 is just an extra life, which is extremely useful. Oh, I should have let that one hit. That's my bad. Don't get hit by the green balls that the ducks drop, by the way. Although that was a really lucky save by that power-up. The big one here will slow you down, but is relatively useful. And then you're going to just go ahead and try to avoid doing that. Try to avoid doing that, but we just need to go ahead and get rid of this last one who is making fun of me. Oh. There we go. And yeah, as I said earlier, they will pass from behind. So if you try to get behind the stack, that'll be most useful. Especially when there's ones that lay eggs behind the stack. The white ones lay eggs, the brown ones do not. And the big ones will take 2 hits, including the ducks. There are no big white ones that will take 2 hits. So right now you're just trying to ball control, which is tough. As so, when I continuously fail. The first couple waves are gonna be fine, but then the last few, as the ball phases through my paddle, will get a little bit tougher. If you want, you can go ahead and curve paddle it so that you can just shoot them in pretty much any which way. Which is probably a useful strategy to get different angles on the balls rather than having them all go the same way by holding an angle button or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and split. No, I did not. So yeah, you have to use those time sensitively. They will expire if you don't end up splitting a ball. That was useful. That was a +1. Alright. Also, I know the music's off, but the music on this version of the game that I'm playing does not work well, so I'm just playing the OST from YouTube. Oh, this is rough. multi-ball when I can here. I'm glad I got that +1. Or not, because I suck. Sorry. You will learn very quickly that this game is frustrating but fun. Also, when you lose, your difficulty will go down, and when you beat a level, your difficulty will go up. So your difficulty flows throughout the game. So even after that tutorial level, if you don't start on the on the hardest, you will get there, unless you continuously fail. Right now, as of last night, EBTKS Patty took the world record of this game with a really solid under 38 time. And we have a couple summa bests, like my summa best is 35. EBTKS doesn't keep splits. He just does full game runs only. So he doesn't know his summa best, but it's probably even lower than mine. I'm sure, because mine's almost just like the regular world record. So this game has potential to get under about 35-ish, but also has potential to stay over an hour if you don't get consistent with it. Which is probably its most frustrating thing, is that you know that you can do better, but it's so difficult to. So this one, you want to make sure that you're controlling whatever you have, because there are no chickens that lay eggs in this one. But on the bright side, there is only one more after this one. There we go. Alright, so, final one. There's a lot of ducks on this one, so just watch out for that. Ah, shit. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I was focused there. So, next up is the devented ducks. It's very just you move around. You gotta hit the ducks off the raft. It's tough. A lot of people hate this stage. ABTKS Patty in his world record used a strategy to bait them over to the edge, and if there was a large group of them, some of them would just walk off on their own. Or what I like to do is I like to try to get in between the ducks, because the ducks will knock you into their friend who is on the other side of you. Or I also like to stand there. If you stand just a little bit behind where they get on the raft, and then that's my own bet. That's my own fault. If you stand a little bit into the raft from where they get on, then you can actually just hit them as soon as they get on. That's even more useful for the bigger ducks. Or you could bait them over to the edge like that and go. So there's 3 sized ducks, I believe. There are, the small ones like these, or the big ones like these, who will have much more knockback on you and are going to be much more dangerous. But you can bait them over to the edge relatively easily. Big mama duck. If you can get those off for this segment, there's a couple big ones, and then this medium-sized one over here comes in. So if you can get those big ones off before the mediums or smalls come in, then that's super useful to you. But the name of the game is baiting them to the edge and shoving them off as quick as you can, basically. Alright. And there you go. Make sure not to overrun them, because you can run too far and then end up throwing yourself into the water like I did earlier. Sometimes someone will just chill there like that after they get hit because they're pissed off at you. Oh, alright, I gotta get rid of Mom over here first. Oh, please leave, thank you. So you can get rid of the big ones first. That's obviously really helpful to you. And that's pretty much it. That's a tough one though. A lot of people hate it. So now we have another dog level. It starts off with some balls on the right side, and then some balls on the left side, and then some in the middle. And then it will juke, please. Okay, and then you'll have this one here. And it will turn around. You have to dodge some boxes. And then you'll get another perspective after this as well. So this one, there's no balls to throw. There's just boxes. So you don't have to like tap X or anything. And by the way, when you're throwing balls, make sure to tap it and start holding down X again as fast as you can, because Bouncer will decelerate relatively quickly. Oh, I hit a box there. That is my bad. Get away from me. Thank you. Hey, I thought I hit you. Get out of here. Alright, and that's it. It's a timed level, so you're going to get pretty much the same time no matter what. So next up is to the castle. We are done with the farm. The farm is incredibly annoying, and hen baiters will ruin my day, as you saw. However, now we are done with it. So this is nighttime. These guys can be hit to the right, to the left, or can be hit forward as well if you get behind them. Hitting them forward will also, they will attack you. If you are stuck in front of them when they attack forward, then that will actually squash you, and you won't be able to hit the ball. So make sure not to get stuck like that. They will also move a little bit on their own accord to attempt to dodge whatever you're throwing at them. But if you can bait them to the side, I don't know if I've done it yet or not, but if you can bait them to the side here, yep, they will go ahead and jump off like that. So that's their forward attack. When you hit them enough forward, they will go like that. It's probably better to it's faster to hit them forward, but it's safer to hit them to the side. So I would suggest doing to the side first, but that can get real difficult, especially when they are dodging your attacks quite often on the higher difficulties. So now I'm down to 2, and I've baited them pretty much close to the side, so I can go ahead and get this one over here. Oh, I hit him the wrong way. Actually, I think he just dodged. Oh, this guy wants to dodge too. So these guys will be a little annoying, but they're not too bad. This power-up, by the way, I don't know if I've shown that off, but it stretches you out a little bit like that. It's not too bad. Also, watch out. You will have to wait until the last one crosses, so you will have to juggle the ball a little bit if you hit the last one forward. I've lost on that before. So this is Menace Court. It has the knights hitting the ball around, and sometimes you won't be able to hit the stack. So if you can go ahead and get into one of these doors on the side, it will actually give you a multi-ball. Well, yeah, let me go ahead and restart because I'm obviously not doing that correctly. If you do it around here, they should hit it into the door, but that's just a maybe. Okay, so once they've hit it into the door once, you can actually hold R2 and get pretty much infinite multi-ball. Or if you hold L2, it'll give you the same effect, but the ball will go to the other side. So you can hold it for infinite multi-ball, but you're also going to want to go ahead and aim things as you need, of course. Come on, go ahead and get in there. There we go. So multi-ball will confuse the knights, and they'll let a bunch through. And if you hit the dragon stairs in the back, it will produce a fireball that goes through everything except the knights. So eventually your stack's going to decrease and you'll get down to 1 or so. Then you just basically got to wait or angle it so that you get into it. So surf stack is the exact same thing, only the serfs are now coming in to rebuild it. If you hit the serfs while they are holding the stacks, then it will actually, get rid of the entire stack like that. So it's recommended that you go ahead and hit the serfs like as soon as possible. But, and then, you know, same thing. If you get the multi-ball, then it's super useful. And the multi-ball will work for both the front and back doors as well, if you get it, because it's just the same angle. And I believe holding R1 instead of R2 will also give you a similar effect, but with the back doors instead of the front doors. And then if you get through a little bit there, then there we go. Holding L2 when a fireball comes in will send the fireball directly back to where it came from, so I would not suggest doing that like I just did. But eventually the serfs are just going to like run out of blocks to keep putting down, so it's not like you're super timed or anything, but if you do get rid of all the blocks before they put any more new ones down, then that's going to end the level very early, which is a rarity, but it does happen. Because these guys put down 4 at a time, which is annoying. Also, if you hold R1 and R2 when a fireball comes, it will push it directly into that right side multi-ball door. Oh, I guess not, actually. I guess I just got a weird angle. But sometimes it'll push it directly into that multi-ball door. Obviously now we're down to the time where they've stopped building. So this one, boulder dodge, is the exact same thing, but now instead of rebuilding stacks, these guys are literally just throwing boulders at us, which sucks, but you could dodge them pretty easily, and B, you can actually just like sit in your normal multi-ball spot and be perfect, and you won't have to move, so you could actually just get hit by the boulders pretty okay. Also, I don't know why the boulders explode, but oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know that. So if you hit one of them, you'll get multi-ball. That's an interesting development that I actually literally just learned. And come on, get me over. And in. And so spiral sprint, you're going to use square to jump, and X to duck. So square and X and square and square. It sucks. Like, the controls suck, but and up and down and up. And it's not going to be the same pattern every time. It's randomized. But this one's all about just timing, knowing where you're at. So for this one, you're probably going to want to go ahead and switch to camera mode 3. This is actually a recent development as of last night, but we were playing around with the game last night and saw that camera 3 actually makes your ability to aim in this fight way easier. So this top-down view usually sucks for everything. Like, we do not use this ever. However, in this game, it's actually useful. Or in this level, rather. Yeah, just this one. So you're grabbing the ouch. So you're actually grabbing the blocks off of the side, and you're gonna wind up by holding in X and then yeeting the blocks at them, basically. So just try to avoid the fire attacks and charge it up and throw, and charge it up and throw. And when you're holding, you can't move, so you can just adjust yourself using the D-pad while you're moving, or while you're charging up a block, but you cannot move while you're charging up the block. So make sure that he's not breathing fire when you go to charge a block, or else you are really screwed. So you move at almost the same speed when you're carrying a block as when you're not, so it doesn't really matter if you're carrying a block or not when you're trying to avoid his fire. And that is relatively easy. Oh. Oops. There we go. Alright, so next up is the factory level. Go ahead and mash your way into it. And this is crate run. So you are gonna mash. It is one D-pad movement per little square. These conveyors will start to go. It's pretty easy. You just want to go ahead and get and get the balls, move out of the way of the crates, etc. So I would suggest getting the ones on the extreme sides out of the way first, and then going for the ones in the middle. You want to use the balls to your advantage as much as possible. I'm sure that there's a lot of time save in this that we just haven't found the optimal strategy for yet. Although my game just choked a little bit. There we go. And if you grab a ball while you're already holding a ball, it will automatically throw the ball that you have in your hand, just so you know. It is a useful fact. And don't get too close like that, because then it'll drop a box literally right on you. My bad. But what I like to do is I like to go for the ones on the outside first, and then work my way in. Go ahead and use that just to get through there relatively easily. But if you can, make use of all the balls that you can, and your game doesn't freeze again, like when you're using a scratched up copy of the game, then there we go. Oh, my bad. If you're able to use all your balls efficiently, then you shouldn't be able to get to this part, but there is eventually a part where one side will go extremely fast, the other side will not be barely be moving at all, if any. And it's real tough to generate hits in that stage of this map. So I would suggest trying to make efficient use of every ball that you have before getting to that point. Oops. Oh, that took away 2 lives? That sucks. That's my bad. That one's straight up just my bad. Yeah, be sure not to get hit by 2. This is the level that chokes a lot on my copy of the game, so give me a moment here, if you don't mind. Thank you. Just make sure to slide on in there and grab the ball when you can. And there we go. It's round 5. Shouldn't be too bad here. This is the point where mashing your analog stick or D-pad is going to get a little difficult. But if you're on it here, then you should be able to stay alive. Oh, damn. There we go. And, oh, that was lucky. Go ahead and make my way up here. This is the part where I was talking about earlier, where one side goes really fast and then the other stays relatively still. So here's the pipes. These pipes, you're going to want to do optimal. So it's start on the left, 1, 2, 3, hold L1, or R1 rather, R1, and then hold L1, and then 2, 3, and then hold R1, and then hold L1, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to hold L1, and then hold R2, the back one, and that's going to be the fastest way to do that. So the green one here, you're going to want to hit it once here, and then R1, and then nothing, don't hold anything, and then L1, let it hit here 2 times, and then L1 again, and it's going to hit there once, and that'll be it for that. And on the red one, you're going to want to go ahead and hit this side once. Hold R1. Oh, I messed that up actually. No, let me reset. Sorry. Do not do that. Do not do that. You're going to want to start on the second one in from the left. Press it once, hold R1, let it drop, and then do nothing. And then hold L1, and it'll drop there, and you'll be fine. Alright, so here is where you want to press select and switch over to the yellow guy. We will be using him for the rest of the run. And you're going to want to go ahead and... Oh, that was a bad angle. So you're going to want to go ahead and move slightly to the left and hold R1 and R2 and just hold this position until you take out that corner and get behind the stack. Because the robot will be at wherever you are at. Whoops. And then you can go ahead and do the same thing again to get it behind him again. He will just chill wherever you are at to try to block the ball. Sometimes it's probably beneficial to move to a side when you get to this point and he's blocking everything in the middle that you need to hit. And then you get to this point, you could probably just knock one off the side there and miss your angle and stuff like that. There we go. There's one, and he will attack you, but it should be perfectly fine. All right, so this one, you are going to mash X when he is on the ground, and there are times where you can get stuck in a loop where you can get him caught right like that. When he does his little spin, that's when he is going to go ahead and attack you, so you're going to want to go ahead and move from one side to the other when he does that little animation. But make sure you're moving while he's finishing the spin, and then he should be able to miss you. It's relatively easy. And if you've noticed in the top left, we have made it all the way back up to the superstar level, even after messing up a bunch and having our game choke a couple times on you. It's relatively easy to get back up there because there are enough levels in the game to do that relatively easily. So you can get him caught in that loop like that, where he's caught right before he jumps, right before his animation, and that will get him stuck before in that explosion. But it is pretty rare, and we are looking into how to get him to stay like that more often. You just got to be quick about the way you're dodging him and not do it like this. If you stay in one side and then move over to the other while he's doing that animation, you should and time it right, because my timing is off today. Yeah, my timing is way off right now. And up. There we go. Oh, there you go. Get him caught in that animation and in. All right, so lastly, we are on space. So you're gonna go ahead and move that. So when I said that we're gonna be using yellow for the rest of the run, I lied. You have to use bouncer for this one. So you're gonna hit it like that and hold R1 and R2, and then it'll go over. And then you can hold nothing in the middle. It'll hit over, and then hold R1 and R2, and it'll go straight. And then nothing and straight. And then R1 and R2, it'll go over to the right side. And then do nothing and nothing, and it'll hit there like that. And then hold R2 or L2, sorry, and you should be able to get the angle. It'll go into the middle. Don't worry about that. R1 and R2 will get it back going. So basically, you just want to keep it even on the sides. Keep your angle so that you hit one side and then the other, and then one side and then the other. Don't let those fuel barrels fall like I'm about to. They will reset like that, but it's no big deal. It just counts as a ball lost, so you can lose 3 of them essentially and still be perfectly fine. It doesn't affect anything, even though it's the fuel for the spaceship that you're about to be using. And hitting it in the middle will even it out and raise it up a little bit. So you're going to want to go ahead and avoid trying to hit it in the middle unless you really need it to be even. And then once you're all the way down, that level will be done soon. There we go. And then asteroids. So you're going to go ahead and switch over to the camo guy and switch your camera angle back to camera mode 1 or 2. Oh, I didn't even realize it was in camera mode 3. Switch your camera mode back to 2 after the dragon, because I forgot to do that. That's probably why my camera angle during pipes was so bad. So you want to go ahead and switch to 2, so it's not shaking around all over the place. And for asteroids, it's pretty easy. You just can't miss much, or else it will destroy one of the rockets. So there are chain reaction ones, such as this one coming up, where if you don't hold anything, you can send this one straight back into that one and then move over to the left one. And then in this one, what you can do is you're going to want to press R1 and R2 to send it to the side. That was lucky. I sent it way too far to the side, but if you press just R1 or L1, then it'll send it over to the side and hit one of them, and then you can get the other one. That one, I just held R2 as well. This one, you're going to want to hold R1 and R2. It'll send it over and get that one properly. And then this one, you just want to hit it normally in the middle. It'll take out all 3. This one, you're going to want to hit this one on the right and then the one on the left. And then you go down to the side and hit all the ones that you can of that one. And once a rocket is gone, you don't have to worry about anything coming in for it, but you know, you are still probably going to need some of them for the chain reactions and stuff, so make sure not to miss too many of them. And then from here on, it's usually, I believe it's just RNG or randomness, but try and get as many as you can, just ball control, just like we have been doing pretty much all game, and you should be okay. So that's a good asteroids there. So next up is Missile Madness. This is the Batniks fight, and we'll be going to switch back to Bouncer. You're gonna move all the way to the left, and you're gonna go ahead and shoot this one, and stay holding nothing for this. You're gonna want to hit him once, and hit him twice with only one. He will, actually, so as I should note, you are going to want to, on that last one, you're going to want to angle it a little bit to the left with L1, because if you don't do this in 4 hits, then Batniks will dodge that second solo rocket. So the strategy is 1-1-3-4-3 is what we've came up with. So 1-1-3. You're going to want to try to dodge Batniks' rockets as much as you can, but, you know, it's hard to avoid all the time. So 1-1-3-4, and then you're going to want to try to bring it down. And if Batniks misses some rockets like that, then that's really useful to you. And then we got that one and 3, so this should be the last hit if everything goes accordingly. He dodged them like the asshole he is, but just try to do your best to dodge those rockets when they come in. They will mess up your ball's angle and everything in regards to that. So if you do shoot too many, then they will stop homing. And here we are. If you shoot too many, they will stop homing, and you only need one of your stack to actually hit in order to go ahead, in order for all of the damage to be done. So you can shoot 3 rockets, and the damage of 3 rockets will be done when one of those 3 rockets hits, actually. You don't need all 3 to hit. So, interesting little factoid. And this is classic. You press A for it to begin, and then you're just playing classic pinball, or Breakout. The whole thing here is that you are always in curved paddle mode. So the sides will shoot it into terrible angles sometimes. So the main thing here is that you want to go ahead and focus on one area and try to get behind the stack as quickly as you can. So if you go ahead and get behind the stack, you can get up there and you can absolutely demolish this in no time. Later, dude. Later. And whoop. Ball resetting in this level is going to be useless because it always comes from the middle and a little bit to the right side. So now that we're behind the stack, we can go ahead and just chill for a little bit around our hole down here until it inevitably comes down like that. Whoops. Whoops. Huh. So, you know, this is still just ball control. The ball speed actually depends on the last color block that you hit. So if you have those blues there, then you can actually go ahead and use that to slow the ball down if you have it a little bit out of control and want to make sure. No, the game choked. Oh, I'm about to get a little salty here. But I am about to lose here because my game choked and I need my new disc to come in immediately. Here we go. So since you are in curved paddle mode, it is a little bit harder to angle it how you want, because, you know, we've been using the angle buttons pretty much all game to shoot it exactly where we want, but with curved paddle mode, you can just be a little bit more elegant with it. Be a little bit more cautious about where you're putting the ball. I'm going to want to try and chase it back over to this left side here so that I can get behind the stack. There we go. And I've not been able to get behind the stack quite yet right now, but if I could, that would be awesome. A lot of the times it will get stuck in the corners like that where you're just perpetually hitting it off straight up until you do that and then get that extreme angle off the opposite side of your paddle. And it will hit off of angles really awkwardly like that sometimes and pop in the complete opposite direction that you want it to go. There we go. And we are up and behind the stack, but I forgot about that hole on the right side, and that is my bad. If you're in camera mode 3, by the way, it does this, and I completely forgot about that. So be sure to switch to camera mode 3 for this as well. Basically, the whole thing with this game is ball control. If you keep the ball in your control, you should be able to win it relatively easy. If the ball gets out of control or you lose track of where it's going, lose track of the angles, then that's rough on you. But if you keep control, keep your multi-balls in the entire game, and know your angles of where it's going, and how you can get behind the stack, you should potentially make this game really easy. And it will be frustrating, like how I was frustrated with Chicken Invaders earlier. However, if you continue to play it and get more consistent at it, then it is rewarding. And don't worry about the game choking. That is just my copy of the game that I have some scratches on. So I did order a new copy that is coming in soon that will be more playable than this. I believe the scratches on it are probably why the audio does not work very well as well. And let's go this way and try to get behind that stack. All right, let's try this. And behind, beautiful. Oh, that was a good hit. And done. That's it. That's how you play Breakout in and out. I PB'ed. So that just shows you how much time save there is available in this game, is that I PB'ed in a run where I expected to sit here and talk to you about how to play the game for the entire time. And that's just how it goes. There's a lot of time save available in this game, and if you get consistent with a lot of the stuff, then you can actually make it through relatively easily. There's a ton of time save available in pretty much every run that you do in this game. If you keep your ball control up, keep your multi-balls in play, know where you can get behind the stack, and be able to do what you can to keep everything going and die as little as possible, then this game becomes straightforward. There are a few levels like that one in Pyramids, the 3 pipe levels in Factory, and the fuel level in Space. I don't really know any others, but those 5 have like really set, here's the angles you need to do, here's exactly what you need to do to get this done. There is another video that I suggest watching. It's the world record holder EBTKS Patty did a video on the Batnik strategy, the 1-1-3-4-3 strategy. That is extremely useful. That is what I use today. And and those guaranteed hits that you get from that strategy is super useful, because if you're just going headfirst into Batniks, you're in for a really, really tough time, as you could see by the fact that I saved almost 10 minutes on that Batnix fight today. So as long as you don't go in like head first, not knowing what you're doing, if you have that 1-1-4-3-4 method planned out and know what you're doing, then Batnix becomes easy. Classic becomes a little bit of a hand sweater because you know, you're sweating a little bit because you just finished your Batnix fight. It was really intense, and you just lost so much time because Batnix really sucks. But but then you get to classic and you're like, oh, I could PB, and then your hands sweat and you lose 5 minutes like I did today. All in all, though, the game has a lot of save available, and we're really happy for anyone who wants to run to join. This is a really, really funny, well, not funny, but like really fun knack game that came out for the PC and PS1 that there's just like a small group of us that really love. It is frustrating. You will get frustrated in certain parts like Chicken Invaders, or sometimes the asteroids can be really, really tough. I saved 2 minutes on it today. Sometimes the robot can be a little tough. I know I lost some of that. But all in all, not like there's a lot of the levels that are a lot of fun and that you can get through relatively easily before getting frustrated at other stuff. Then there are also the ones that I wanted to talk about. For camera angles. You're going to be using camera angle 2 for most of the time. That's the one that stays behind you. I know I wasn't that great at switching my camera angles today, but I don't usually switch my camera angles a whole lot. I usually like to just stay at 2, not mess around with that at all. If you stay on 2 for most of the game, you will be in tip-top shape. For the dragon, switch to 3 to get that overhead view of the good angle of which you're throwing the block at the dragon, and then probably switch back to 2 for the rest of the game. I know that I didn't, and I kind of paid the price for it a little bit on pipes, but you should be fine. I will probably, this is really hastily made. I literally PB'ed during it. So I could probably make a more in-depth one, and if you are into words, if you're into reading, then I also suggest taking a look at Sergeant Silence like written out guide that he has on the speedrun.com forums for the game as well, which that's super useful as well. So other than that, I am just really glad to be back running the game and really glad to have a little bit of a community, and we're very welcoming of anyone who wants to join. So for now, until I make another one of these with some more in-depth stuff, thanks for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed learning how to run the game. Thanks, guys.